In the West, when an engine starts burning oil, the diagnosis feels like a death sentence. Blue smoke from the exhaust, the oil level dropping between services, the smell of burned oil after a long drive. Most mechanics will say the same thing. Worn piston rings, valve stem seals, internal wear, engine rebuild, thousands of dollars. But in quiet Japanese workshops, master mechanics often approach oil consumption differently. They do not immediately assume catastrophic wear. They understand that in many cases, oil burning is not mechanical destruction. It is mechanical imbalance. Today, I will reveal the Japanese mechanic method to fix oil burning without opening the engine. This is not a miracle bottle, not a temporary thick oil trick. It is a structured process designed to restore function before assuming failure. Ignore step 3 and everything else becomes far less effective. Let us begin. First, we must understand what oil burning actually means. Oil enters the combustion chamber in two primary ways: past the piston rings from below, or past the valve stem seals from above. In a healthy engine, piston rings seal combustion pressure and scrape excess oil off the cylinder walls. Valve seals control lubrication of the valve stems without allowing oil to drip into the intake or exhaust ports. When oil consumption increases, most people assume these components are physically worn out. Sometimes that is true, but often, especially in engines with moderate mileage, the problem is carbon. Carbon deposits form around piston ring grooves. Over time, these deposits can cause rings to stick. When rings lose mobility, they cannot expand properly against the cylinder wall. Oil control rings in particular become ineffective. The engine appears worn, but the rings are not necessarily damaged. They are restricted. Japanese mechanics begin with restoration before replacement. The first principle is controlled internal cleaning. Rather than pouring aggressive solvents into the crankcase randomly, technicians use measured piston soak procedures. A specialized combustion chamber cleaner is introduced through the spark plug holes. The engine is allowed to sit, giving the solution time to penetrate carbon around the ring pack. This process softens hardened deposits that trap the oil control rings. After soaking, the engine is rotated by hand to distribute the cleaner. Then the contaminated oil is drained and replaced immediately. This is not performed casually. It is done carefully with correct fluid selection and an immediate oil change afterward. In many cases, oil consumption improves dramatically after freeing stuck rings. The second principle is crankcase ventilation correction. Modern engines rely on a positive crankcase ventilation system to manage internal pressure. If this system becomes restricted, crankcase pressure increases. Excess pressure forces oil past seals and rings, even if those components are healthy. Japanese technicians inspect the ventilation valve and related hoses thoroughly. They check for sludge buildup, restriction, and improper flow. A partially clogged ventilation valve can mimic severe engine wear. Replacing this inexpensive component often reduces oil consumption significantly. Now we reach a critical step: oil selection strategy. Please subscribe to our channel. We want to hit 1,000 subscribers this week. Many drivers attempt to fix oil burning by switching to thicker oil. While thicker oil may reduce visible smoke temporarily, it can also reduce proper flow during cold starts and increase long-term wear. The Japanese method does not rely on extreme viscosity changes. Instead, it selects high-quality oil with strong detergent packages and stable high-temperature performance. Oils with higher resistance to volatility reduce evaporation at high temperatures. Low-quality oil can vaporize more easily, contributing to increased oil consumption. In some cases, moving one grade higher in viscosity for high-mileage engines is appropriate. This change is done thoughtfully, not dramatically. Consistency matters more than extremes. The fourth principle involves intake system cleaning. In engines with direct injection, intake valves can accumulate carbon deposits because fuel no longer washes over them. Heavy deposits reduce airflow and lead to uneven combustion. Poor combustion increases blow-by gases, which worsen oil contamination and make piston rings stick. Japanese mechanics may perform intake valve cleaning using specialized tools or controlled chemical treatments. Restoring airflow balance improves combustion efficiency and reduces secondary oil problems. The fifth principle is compression verification. Before assuming irreversible damage, Japanese technicians perform compression and leak-down testing. These tests reveal whether rings are truly worn or simply restricted. If compression is uniform and within specification, severe mechanical wear is unlikely. In such cases, restoration methods have a high chance of success. If compression varies significantly between cylinders, further diagnosis is required. Diagnosis precedes decision. Another overlooked factor is engine temperature stability. Engines that run too cool let carbon build up faster. Short trips prevent full oil evaporation, and they allow moisture and fuel dilution to remain in the crankcase. Japanese mechanics often recommend periodic extended drives at a stable operating temperature. Sustained heat helps burn off moisture and soft deposits. Engines designed for long life prefer consistent thermal cycles, not constant cold starts. Driving behavior also influences OIL consumption. Aggressive throttle use before warm-up increases cylinder pressure while the rings are not fully expanded. This stresses sealing surfaces and increases oil migration. Gradual warm-up reduces this stress. Mechanical sympathy once again plays a role. There's also the matter of engine flushes. The Japanese method avoids harsh solvent flushes that can dislodge large sludge particles all at once. Sudden debris movement can block oil passages and cause more harm than good. Instead, cleaning is progressive. Shorter oil change intervals with high detergent oil allow gradual removal of deposits without shock. Patience restores function safely. Another subtle contributor to oil burning is worn or hardened valve stem seals. While replacing valve seals traditionally requires significant disassembly, some engines allow seal replacement without full engine removal, using specialized compressed air tools to hold valves in place. Japanese workshops evaluate whether this targeted repair is possible before recommending a full engine overhaul. Surgical correction replaces blanket replacement. Exhaust system condition is also evaluated. A clogged catalytic converter increases back pressure. Elevated back pressure can worsen oil consumption by affecting cylinder scavenging and increasing internal pressure dynamics. Ensuring exhaust flow remains unobstructed supports overall engine health. Then there is documentation and monitoring. Oil level is tracked precisely over consistent mileage intervals. Improvements after cleaning procedures are recorded. Consumption trends are analyzed rather than guessed. A single oil change does not prove success. Data over time reveals the truth. The Japanese mechanic method is systematic. Clean the rings, restore ventilation, optimize oil quality, stabilize temperature, verify compression, adjust driving habits, monitor results. Only after these steps fail do they consider internal rebuild. In many cases, engines labeled as worn recover significant performance through this process. Oil burning is often a symptom of neglect, not fatal damage. Engines are resilient machines. Rings are designed to move. Seals are designed to hold. When carbon traps movement, performance declines. Free the movement and function returns. But this requires discipline. Random additives poured into fuel tanks without understanding cause can waste money. Thick oil used blindly can create new problems. Ignoring ventilation issues allows pressure to continue forcing oil where it does not belong. Precision beats panic. The Japanese philosophy values restoration before replacement. Instead of tearing the engine apart at the first sign of consumption, they analyze, they test, they clean, they observe, they act methodically. If you are experiencing oil consumption, do not assume immediate engine death. Check ventilation first, evaluate oil quality and interval. Consider controlled ring cleaning, verify compression data, stabilize operating temperature, track results carefully. This approach does not promise miracles. Severely worn engines with damaged cylinder walls will require rebuild, but many engines burn oil due to stuck rings, restricted ventilation, or thermal imbalance. These conditions are correctable without opening the engine. Respect the system, address the cause, avoid shortcuts. Oil burning can often be reversed before irreversible damage occurs. The key is patience combined with technical precision. The Japanese mechanic method is not about denying mechanical reality. It is about exhausting intelligent solutions before accepting destruction. Restore balance inside the engine and consumption often declines. Ignore early symptoms and wear accelerates. Take action methodically and you may extend the life of your engine far beyond expectations. Please subscribe to our channel. We want to hit 1,000 subscribers this week.